Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Muhammad Mustafa Rafiq Abbasi, and welcome to my presentation. I'm the student of sixth semester with the major in English Literature at Federal Urdu University, Karachi. In fiction subject, we have studied Lord of the Flies, a remarkable novel by William Golding. I have chosen the topic for my presentation on this novel, and the topic is the effects of isolation on human behavior, a study of Lord of the Flies. This presentation will explore the ways in which William Golding's novel delves into the psychological and societal impacts of isolation, drawing from its context from the post World War II British culture. So, it is the story that follows a group of British schoolboys who finds themselves stranded on an uninhabited island after a plane crash. Without the guidance and the rules of adult society, their attempts at self-governance gradually unravel, revealing the inherent struggles between order and chaos. Now, the second slide of the PPT is about introduction. So the William Golding's novel Lord of the Flies, published in 1954, it is a profound exploration of human nature and behavior, especially when cut off from society. William Golding, who served as a Navy officer during the World War II, was deeply influenced by the experience of war and the insights he gained into the darker aspects of human life. Set against the backdrop of the post World War II, the novel tells how the human being revert to their primal instincts when the societal structures break down. William Golding's work is not only the story of the boys stranded on an island, but it is an allegory that reveals the thin line between civilization and savagery. For example, the quote, "The world, that understandable and lawful world, was slipping away." This quote encapsulates the theme of gradual descent into disorder. And the third slide is about isolation's impact. So the first point is fear and paranoia. In Lord of the Flies, isolation breeds fear and paranoia amongst the boys. The fear of the unknown manifests as they imagine the existence of a terrifying beast on the island. This fear breeds the mistrust and leads to aggressive behaviors that undermines their initial attempts to maintain order. But as the fear escalates, the boys become more violent, revealing how isolation can strip away civility and induces the loss of moral direction. For example, Simon's death illustrates the one consequence of isolation, and the fear of the beast leads to loss of moral structures, and civility. Now, the second point is about regression to primal instincts. As the boys' time on the island continues, they begin to revert to primal instinct. The once disciplined children are transformed into a group of survival and with tribal loyalty. This regression shows how isolation can erode the rational mind and give rise to the primitive state. They abandon the reason and cooperation in struggle of powers and impulsive actions. The third point is mental health effects. So the psychological toll of isolation is severe, manifesting such as anxiety, stress, and eventually despair. The longer the boy is cut off from society, the more they become hopeless. This regression of isolation shows the collapse of identities. This loss is epitomized by the quote, the darkness of man's heart. It symbolizes the loss of innocence. Now, the next slide is about the beast, symbolizing collective fear. The beast represents the boys' collective fear and unknown dangers they perceive on the island. They don't know about the beast, but still, they all childs are afraid of the beast. When Sam and Eric sees the dead parachuters, they ran to the boys and said they have seen a beast, but it symbolizes the collective fear. And the second point is internal struggle. Internal struggle is about the all boys are these from the society of civilized people. But when they heard about the beast, they become savage. They wanted to kill the beast and they convert into primal instinct. So this is the internal struggle between the boys. And the third point is driving the plot forward. The fear of the beast fuels the boys' actions and decisions, driving the plot forward and leading to tragic consequences. When the little lamb with the mark of mulberry on his face was died in the fire, the no one in the boys have answer to this his death. This is the tragic events. This is the start of tragic events. So the beast is the vital role who plays in this story, and because of the beast, the children become savage. And the next slide is about group dynamics. The first point is group think and conformity. The boys' desire to fit in and belong leads to groupthink, where individuals' opinions are suppressed to avoid conflict. For example, when Jake was on the hunt, when they find the mother pig, they killed her like a savage. They become more depressed and more primal. By this action, they become the most dangerous part of the novel. The second part is peer pressure. The pressure to conform to group norms and the influence of charismatic leaders shape the boy's behavior and decisions. When the beast was informed into a society in the on the island, the Jake says to his friends like Rogers and the other members of his tribe, he says, "There is no beast. If there is, we will kill him. We are." So he influence the other members of his tribe. So it is the showing of peer pressure. And the third one point is social hierarchy. The boys establish a social hierarchy, with Rolf initially assuming leadership, but ultimately falling prey to Jake's manipulation. In the first, the all boys collectively make decision that the Rolf would be our leader on this island. But as the time passes, the influence of Jake become increase, and the some of the boys of his tribe was increasingly hurting the other boys. So it is the social hierarchy. They both want to take control of the island. And the next slide is about leadership. The first is Raff's democracy. Raff represents the democratic leadership styles, emphasizing reason and order, but struggle to maintain control. Raff is the only one who wants to maintain a signal fire, because if the passing ship cross the island, they would find us and then we will be rescued. So he is the most democratic leader in this novel. And the second point is Jack's authoritarianism. Jack's leadership is authoritarian, appealing to the boys' primal instincts and ultimately leading them to savagery. Jake is an authoritarian or like a dictatorship leader. He says, "You will do what I say," means that everyone should obey him because he has the power to hunt and he has the power to serve him and he has the power to protect them. And the last point of this PPT slide is impact on group behavior. The different leadership styles influence the boys' decisions, actions, and overall behavior. When you see the Simon's death at the night, dark night and stormy night, when the Simon came to his tribe, they all were dancing like a savage. And when it was too dark, so when they saw see the Simon, they killed him because they thought he was a beast. It was a beast. So it is the point to note that they they don't want to confirm anything. They just do what their leader says, and there is no opinions of individual. So the next PPT slide is about psychological effects. The first one is anxiety and stress. The boys experience significant anxiety and stress as they struggle to survive and cope with their isolation. The boys become more isolated and more afraid of the island, and especially the beast, and they become like desperate children. They are continuously wants the society and essential social class whom they have shared their opinions. The loss of identity. The boys' isolation leads to loss of identity and breakdown of their sense of self, resulting in regression to more primal behaviors. They lose their identity. They just think that if I talk about the Jake's tribe, they think that they are under the leader and who can protect them, and who can save them from the beast. So they lose their individualism. They become more groupized. And the last, psychological regression. The boys regress to more primitive states of mind, losing their sense of reason and morality. When the pig is dead, it is the significant event to note when the piggy was died. So finally, they lost their last loss of order. It is the point to note that they were at the peak of savagery in this event. At the When the piggy was died and he fallen upon the of over the rock, and the conch shell was destroyed. And the next slide is about conclusion. Lord of the Flies. It is all about the isolation's effects on human behavior. The Lord of the Flies serves as an stark of reminder that isolation can affect the human behavior. And Golding says by his novel that empathy and understanding is very, very necessary to the members of the world. Because if they do not have class, social structures, and empathy, and no one to understand them, they will become savage. And the community, a vital force in resisting the darkness within human nature. Community plays a vital role to maintain a person civilized. And the last PPT, this is my references. These references helped me to make presentation on this topic, the effects of human isolation on human behavior. That's all. Thank you so much for listening me.